Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chelloveck Movies. My name is John, and I've just got the Vinegar Syndrome 4K of Bloodsucking Freaks, and I'm going to compare it to the previous two releases. So, Bloodsucking Freaks is one of my favourite horror films of all time. I can't get enough of this. It is so weird and unique. It's brilliant. Now, when I heard this has been out for quite a while, when I heard Vinegar Syndrome were going to do this, I thought, right, I'm definitely going to see what this is about before I buy it, mind, because I've got this twice already where I'd be just basically buying the same thing. I know the Vinegar Syndrome slip is just amazing, but I wanted to make sure I was going to get something a little bit special, which I knew I was kind of going to go on because this is not cheap. So I thought, right, the time is right to pounce. So I did. So I got this from Film Treasures or Treasured Films. I think that's the website. And it was on there and it was £40 all in. Quite expensive, but I knew it was going to be something like that because basically I didn't want to lose not having this slip. As you know, I'm a big collector of Vinegar Syndrome slips. I think they're absolutely amazing. And this movie would have not really cut the mustard with me if I didn't get the Vinegar Syndrome slip. So that's why I had to just go and just say, right, I'll get it because when this goes out of print, £40 will seem like peanuts to the money you would have to pay for it, probably more like £80. But it's an absolute, it was brand new. It's in amazing condition. It was sent in amazing packaging, and I can't recommend this highly enough. I did see a previous video on this a while back from Double Bill Movies, Trev. I'll leave a link to that video down below and also a link to Trev's channel. And he did talk about this very highly, and I thought, right, so it was on me sort of list to say I will be getting that in the future. And he sold it to me because he told me all about the quality of it. Now I'm just looking at this, getting a few fingerprints on it because I'm holding it. But I went and thought, oh, I'll put it in one of the protective cases I got from Dave Ramsey. But sadly, it doesn't fit. It's just a little bit too wide for that, and that's due to the fact of that. This really unique way it's got for the slipcover. So before I go into that, I'll quickly touch on the previous releases. First of all, you've got it from 88. I love this slip. 88 Films released this quite a while ago, actually, and I was really surprised to see this was out. Now, it does say Extreme Uncut Collector's Edition. That's correct in a way, but it's not because it is cut. But the bit it was cut out of it, nobody knew about it at the time this came out. So it's got this. I can't really show you this cover on here because it's quite explicit. But I like the fact that went really out on the cover inside. And then when you get the booklet is like a more extreme version of the cover. It's brilliant. So when I originally got this one, they are actually widescreen. They will fill it up your full telly, which would be sort of like a 178, I think. But that's the wrong aspect ratio because you do miss out stuff from the top and the bottom. And I'll go more into that when I talk about the fact of this release here. So this one here, although it's great because why would you keep it? Well, I'll keep it because I like the packaging, and also on here you get a lot more extras which aren't on anything else. Mainly just sort of like daft little Troma's a really crazy company who released this one. I'll get more on that in a minute. They didn't release it straight away. They picked it up and turned it into Bloodsucking Freaks. So this came out in 1976. It was originally titled The Incredible Torture Show or Sardou's Master of the Screaming Virgins. Wow. And in 1981, Troma picked it up and they turned it into Bloodsucking Freaks. They changed the title on it. And that's when it gained its notoriety. They put it out in the Grindhouse Cinema and it got a real name for itself because the stuff in here really is beyond belief. It's quite tacky now. When you look at it, it reminds me of The Wizard of Gore, the Herschel Gordon Lewis movie where they get these people on stage and they perform these acts on them, which is supposed to be real torture. It's not, and it's laughable. So Sardou, who is the head of this show, he performs these acts of torture on the stage, or he tells his henchman Ralphus to do it for him, and he says, "Behold, you've seen this," and he's got loads of critics in this audience, especially one called Creasy Silo, who gives him a bad review. I won't even review it because he said this show is so bad and so rubbish. He pretended to do these real things, not even real, but they are real on the show, but obviously they're not. They're just special effects. And he takes the hump, Sardu, and he says, right to Ralphus, right, get a hold of him. So get a hold of him and take him to their hideout. So Ralphus takes Creasy Silo to this hideout that they've got, where they perform all this stuff. And It's just absolutely crazy. So yeah, so Bloodsucking Freaks. Now this one here, I'm keeping it for the fact of the packaging. I'm keeping it for the fact it's got these extra bits in here, but it isn't the full version. So in order to get the full version, I got this one from Troma Films itself, Bloodsucking Freaks. Now, this is a 2-disc one, and on the there's a DVD, and on DVD it has the square framed one, which is the full picture of it. It also has the full version and has 2 versions of this. It has the cut one, which, and then they found this other version on here, which is the uncut one, but it's got this extra. I'm going to say it's only about 20 seconds, but it's got this extra little bit on the scene. Now, the square frame one, you see in the scene where Sarda was using this woman as a coffee table, and he says he's finished his dinner. So what does he do? He just hoofs her, and when she goes flying, she's got a candle, resting on it. So when this gets through the YouTube, when it goes, you can actually see on the square version, you see more information on the top and the bottom, obviously, bottom being the operative word. So when she goes flying, she lands on the actual candle, and she moves out of the way because, I mean, she's supposed to be, unconscious, but she moves out of the way because she's actually touching the candle. So you don't see that on the other versions. But this one's got that on there, but it's on a DVD in its standard definition. It looks all right, but quite ropey. Now the picture quality on that one was, like I say, it was blown up and it was really scratchy. This one, the same, it's blown up and it's really scratchy. Now the bit they've got for this extra footage, which they've inserted into this movie, it goes really low quality because I say, just found on the cutting floor when we're getting this thing together. And I thought, well, actually, when I was looking at that one, I was looking online and I thought, it says fully uncut version, but I was looking at running time. I think, is this got this extra little bit in? Because it does say fully uncut, but it never mentions about this extra scene, which it talks about a lot on this one. To say brand new thing. Never before seen deleted scene thought to be lost forever. So it's not as a deleted scene as in the movie. And I was like, wow, that was the main reason why I got this one, to see the extra little thing. I mean, it's nothing, but and it's got some exclusive extras on here which aren't on anything else. So this is another reason why I'm keeping this, because, well, I like this movie enough to not really think, well, I'm not letting it go. But the print on this, as well as being blown up, it is really scratchy as well. And I thought that actually, until I saw Trev's video, I thought that this would be the same for this 4K. I thought, how on earth can I get 4K out of this? Because it does, I mean, it's really low budget. It does look, and it's shot on a shoestring in like sound stages, which must have been somebody's garage. And I did think that, would it ever look anything on 4K? But after seeing Trev's, I thought, I'm getting that one. So I got this, and I've got to say the picture quality on here is absolutely stunning. It's 16mm, but I tell you what, it is one of the best 16mm ones I've ever seen on 4K. It is for what it is, it's absolutely stunning. The black letters on here are insane. I never thought I'd say this about this movie. There is not one item of scratch on this movie at all. I don't know how they've done it. They've done a painstaking restoration on this, and it's honestly it's spectacular to see this in. I just can't believe the job they've done on this. You've got, this is the alternative art as well, and yes, so it has got the full version in now. The bit that they've got, I will show you some clips from here. It's the bit they've got on here. I'll show you some screenshots. I will show you a screenshot of the extra footage on here, and I will put it on, the same one in here. The print was like a lesser print, as if it wasn't even from the same source. Now this one here, I don't know where they got it from, but the whole thing looks exactly. You would never know it was the bit that was missing if you saw it for the first time. It's not as if you see, oh, drop in quality, that's the extra bit. It doesn't even talk about the extra bit on here. It just said it's fully uncut. And it is. So another winner for Vinegar Syndrome. When I hear about them doing a 4K of a movie, I always think, especially after seeing 2 releases that were really scratched up and not even in the correct frame, I thought this is going to be a bit of a stretch for the 4K. And are you going to buy anything that's going to just basically look like a souped up Blu-ray? And it's not going to be like the original negatives, all that type of thing. But I tell you what, they have went back to the source and they have done an absolutely spectacular version of this movie. Now, this is not everyone's cup of tea. If you don't want it, it's not called the Incredible Torture Show for no reason. That's basically the whole movie's like that. But I like this movie, and I like the way that these actors go on. I think that they're just so entertaining. So in the backstory to this, Sardu, the ringleader, who was the campest actor you have ever seen in your life, actually was living in New York, or he's English, and he got broken into and he got actually murdered by the person who broke into his house. I don't think they ever found out who it was. And actor Ralph has passed away at the age of 36 in 1988, so that's another tragic thing. And also the leading lady on here called Viju Krem, what a name. She was on a hunting trip with her husband in 1983, and he accidentally shot her in the head and killed her. I don't know if there was anything behind that, but wow, what a sort of tragic ending a lot of these people had in this show, which is just another thing where you think, wow, it's got a bit of a name for itself because of that. The behind that goes into it, loads of stuff on the extras. The extras on here are amazing. These are by far the best extras on here. Also, it's got an amazing commentary by a person who's an expert on Joel M. Reed, the fellow who actually made this one. And you get lots of interviews with Joel M. Reed as well, which I've never seen before. The comedy is excellent. And at the start of this movie, you see two people taking this package to Sardu's lockup or whatever it is. And these two people are, according to the commentary, stunt doubles for Telly Savalas and Gene Wilder. Can you believe it? You just think, what? But this, I can't wait to watch the rest of the commentary because there's just loads of things about this movie that's just so intriguing and different and strange and just, it's a movie, it's a one of a kind movie. You will never see anything like it. It wasn't a video nasty. I can't imagine why it wasn't. It mustn't have been put out. Because if this was put out at the time on VHS in the video shops, it would have been one that everyone would want to see because of the reputation of it, but it would have been banned instantly because the stuff in here that happens is just utter next level. I mean, it's quite laughable now. The effects aren't that good, but it's just the thought of what they're doing in here and the fact that they just have got no shame about what they're doing. And the acting, I think, is superb in it. It's awful, but it's a superb type of awful, if that makes any sense. But I'm a big, big fan of this movie. I'm a big fan of this presentation. And just, yeah, so this, I've triple dipped on this, but to be honest, I don't mind because this is a movie that I don't think there's anything more that could be done with this. I think this is basically the top of the tree when it comes to Bloodsucking Freaks. If you want to see the best version, fully uncut of Bloodsucking Freaks, and it's square framed as well, so you see the whole image, and you want to see something that's been one of the best restorations I've ever seen, this is the one to go for. So, thanks for watching, you take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers!